Are you ready to hear a jaw-dropping warning that every Christian must hear right now? In America, the land of the free, there's been a powerful shift in focus. It's not just about politics, it's about faith. Throughout his campaign, Donald Trump promised to bring God's light to America, promising a brighter future under his leadership. And standing by his side through it all was Melania Trump, a figure whose statements have shocked both Americans and the world. With Donald Trump seemingly leading the charge to the final race, what role does Melania, the woman always beside him, play? How deep is her faith in God, and what does it mean for Christians everywhere? Today, we're delving into this video to uncover the truth. With Donald Trump's every move splashed across social media, it feels like we know everything about him. But what about Melania Trump? She's often been a bit of a puzzle, quiet, reserved, and seemingly shy. Despite being in the public eye for 2 years, there's still so much we don't know about her. Especially during the holidays, when her extravagant Christmas decorations grab headlines, many wonder, is Melania Trump religious? And if so, how does her faith shape her Christmas celebrations? While Donald Trump's religious views have been scrutinized extensively, Melania's personal faith has remained a mystery. Little attention has been paid to her Sunday routines or her belief system. Surprisingly, Melania is Catholic, a fact that caught many off guard. Her religious affiliation was revealed during a brief moment in 2017 when she met the Pope. Melania presented a rosary for the Pope to bless as they were introduced. In a gesture viewed as a high honor for Catholics, the Pope placed his hand over hers and made the sign of the cross. While Melania and Donald Trump were married in an Episcopal church ceremony in 2005, Melania's faith has a distinct Catholic flair. A notable detail observed by the Washington Post during their wedding was Melania carrying a rosary instead of a bouquet down the aisle. This seemingly small choice hints at the depth of her personal faith, emphasizing her connection to Catholicism, the Lord's Prayer, and public faith. Melania Trump's faith became more apparent during her first public speech as the First Lady. At a rally in Orlando in February 2017, she opened her remarks with the recitation of the Lord's Prayer. This public display of her faith added another layer to the understanding of Melania's personal beliefs, showcasing the importance of prayer in her life. Melania's spokeswoman confirmed her religious affiliation and affirmed that the First Lady is a practicing Catholic. Despite their Episcopal church wedding, Melania's choice of carrying a rosary and her public expressions of faith highlight her personal connection to Catholicism. This revelation adds nuance to her public image and showcases her faith's role in her life. In recent times, Melania Trump, known as one of the most private first ladies in modern history, has chosen to step away from the public eye. Since leaving Washington in January, she has made just one public appearance in the summer, leaving Trump Tower in New York City with her son. As her husband navigates political decisions, Melania remains notably quiet, maintaining her preference for a more private life away from the spotlight. Melania Trump, known for her privacy, has deliberately stayed away from public political life. Despite occasional glimpses in Instagram posts, she has purposefully avoided cameras and kept a low profile, notably absent from her husband's campaign events and rallies. Her disinterest in actively participating in the political sphere is evident, emphasizing her preference for a more private life. Contrary to her disinterest, Melania Trump surprised many by supporting Donald Trump's potential 2024 re-election campaign. Despite telling friends that she had no intention of being part of a White House redux and viewing political involvement as her husband's role, Melania's public endorsement suggests a shift in her stance. In a Fox News interview, she stated, "He has my support, and we look forward to restoring hope for the future and leading America with love and strength." While Melania Trump has distanced herself from the former president's political activities, her endorsement reflects a united front. She acknowledges Donald Trump's impact on the GOP landscape, emphasizing that his role is to lead, and she stands behind him. Despite her reservations about active involvement, Melania's endorsement adds a new dimension to her relationship with politics. As Donald Trump becomes the frontrunner for the GOP presidential nomination, Melania's unexpected endorsement raises questions about her potential role in the upcoming campaign. Despite previous indications of disinterest, her public support signals a willingness to engage in her husband's political journey actively, challenging the perception of Melania as a political enigma. Melania Trump's vision for 2024. Moreover, Melania Trump has expressed her commitment to prioritizing the well-being and development of children if her husband is elected in 2024. This aligns with her past initiatives, emphasizing her dedication to supporting children's causes, marking a potential continuation of her advocacy for youth. In a video shared on Truth Social for his 2024 presidential campaign, Donald Trump asserted that God created him to be the caretaker of Americans. The video portrayed Trump as a leader God chose to navigate the nation's challenges. It depicted him signing executive orders, engaging with world leaders, and walking with Melania onto Air Force One. The narrative in the video suggested a divine calling for Trump, referencing God's need for someone strong, courageous, and caring for the flock. The portrayal echoes a sentiment among Trump supporters who view him as a chosen leader, drawing parallels to historical figures like Cyrus. Some believe America, founded as a Christian nation, is destined to return to its Christian roots. The video's narrative reflects the perspective of some Trump supporters who see him as a defender of Christian values. It touches on the idea that believers should elect righteous politicians to bring about change. This sentiment raises questions about the alignment of religious beliefs with political choices, even if it means supporting a candidate who may not align with traditional religious norms. Scholars have examined why Donald Trump receives support from conservative Christians despite his unconventional lifestyle. The video's framing reinforces the notion that believers may prioritize political leaders who, while not necessarily devout, are capable of dismantling structures perceived as diverging from Christian principles. Many attribute support for Mr. Trump among conservative Christians to his policies, which align with traditional values. Some also share his nostalgia for a bygone era when white Christians held sway in the country. In 2016, a self-proclaimed prophet named Lance Wallnau had a vision identifying the next president as a modern-day Cyrus, a figure chosen by God. He declared Trump as this Cyrus, despite Trump's non-evangelical background. According to Matthew Taylor of the Institute for Islamic, Christian, and Jewish Studies, believers see Trump as sent by God to restore conservative Christianity from cultural exile. Wallnau's followers believe in a spiritual battle against demons controlling various aspects of society, symbolized by 7 mountains representing different spheres of life. To overcome these demons, believers advocate for a reformation of the church, with apostles and prophets leading instead of traditional Protestant structures. This approach, controversial within mainstream Christianity, emphasizes the need for dynamic spiritual leaders to confront societal challenges. Role of apostles and prophets. Advocates of the apostolic movement argue that only charismatic and spiritually gifted leaders can rally believers to combat demonic influence and reclaim society for God. They aim to recapture the 7 mountains and establish God's authority in America through spiritual warfare. While the size of this movement is difficult to measure, indications suggest its popularity, particularly within non-denominational churches. These churches, which encompass the apostolic movement, represent the only segment of Christianity in the U.S. experiencing growth. Apostolic movements, influence. A survey in 2023 revealed that 1/4 of Americans believe in modern-day prophets and prophecies, aligning with the beliefs of the apostolic movement. Apostles actively engage in politics, often affiliating with the Republican Party and supporting figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and Mike Johnson. They view Trump as central to their agenda and see him as fulfilling prophetic visions of conquering various spheres of influence. During Trump's presidency, leaders within the apostolic movement formed a spiritual strike force to protect him from perceived spiritual threats. Many prophesied his re-election in 2020, and a significant portion of Americans believed God anointed him to become president. White evangelicals played a crucial role in Trump's electoral success, with overwhelming support in both the 2016 and 2020 elections. However, there are concerns among some Christian leaders about Trump's stance on issues like abortion and his lack of religious literacy. In the 2024 Republican nomination contest, competition for support from politically active conservative white evangelicals is fierce. While Trump won substantial evangelical support in previous elections, some rivals hope to leverage concerns about his religious sincerity and policy stances to erode his support among evangelical voters. Rivals of Trump in the 2024 election are capitalizing on dissatisfaction among evangelical leaders regarding his handling of key issues and his perceived lack of religious commitment. They hope to sway evangelical voters away from Trump by highlighting these concerns and positioning themselves as more aligned with evangelical values. Donald Trump is notably recognized as a devout evangelical, actively engaging in Christian right political causes and aligning himself with the anti-abortion movement's 2024 litmus test, supporting a national abortion ban. While Trump and conservative evangelicals may share theological beliefs, the depth of their connection goes beyond measurable metrics. Trump's commitment to fulfilling promises, especially regarding Supreme Court justice appointments to potentially overturn Roe v. Wade, has endeared him to this voter base. Trump's track record of fidelity to Christian right political causes, such as recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital and relocating the U.S. Embassy, resonates strongly with conservative evangelicals. His actions have created a lasting impact on their perception of his commitment to shared values. Trump's personal belief system, characterized by a willingness to fight for the values of Christian rights activists, has garnered strong loyalty. Despite any past criticisms, many conservative evangelicals appreciate his dedication to their causes and prioritize actions over professions. The pivotal role Trump played in helping overturn Roe v. Wade has become central to the long-term reconsideration of him among conservative evangelicals. This achievement and other policy decisions have solidified his standing in their eyes. Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital and the relocation of the U.S. Embassy to the Holy City further contributes to his positive image among conservative evangelicals. These actions align with their geopolitical and religious perspectives. Interviews with Iowa pastors reveal that Trump's enduring loyalty to Christian right causes, particularly in the realm of abortion and foreign policy, has fostered a rethinking about him within this influential voter bloc. During the 2016 campaign, Reverend Mike Damascus of Des Moines supported Ted Cruz and heavily criticized Donald Trump, describing him as morally loathsome, wicked, and reprehensible. However, today, Damascus views Trump as the most pro-life president the United States has ever had, and would even consider supporting him in caucuses, reflecting a shift in perception among some conservative evangelicals. Beyond assessments of Trump's record, a troubling phenomenon has emerged among conservative evangelicals: the rise of Christian nationalism. In this ideology, Trump is seen as an irreplaceable figure crucial to God's plan for redeeming the world from sin. This sentiment was vividly expressed in events like the Real Awaken America tour, organized by figures like Michael Flynn and Kay Clark, following the January 6th insurrection. Real Awaken America tour. The Real Awaken America tour, launched in response to the January 6th insurrection, has become a rallying point for tens of thousands of people across multiple cities. It serves as both a traveling roadshow and a recruitment tool for the growing Christian nationalist movement. Rooted in conspiracy theories and a genuine belief in Trump's divine mission, this movement intertwines God, patriotism, and politics. Christian nationalism has gained traction within the Republican Party, drawing support from those who espouse far-right conspiracy theories and view Trump's adversaries as enemies of God. The movement's influence continues to expand, fueled by a narrative of a country under siege and a fervent loyalty to Trump as its champion against perceived threats to American values. An extremist religious organization closely aligned with Donald Trump loyalists is now orchestrating campaigns to rally fervent support for Trump's 2024 comeback bid. This group, known for its militant stance, is planning events in swing states like Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, aiming to galvanize evangelical backing for the former U.S. president. Pastors for Trump may just be the visible tip of a larger Christian nationalist movement that equates the 45th president with Jesus and merges Christianity with the MAGA, Make America Great Again cause. While this fusion of cultural conservatism with religious fervor predates and extends beyond Trump, he has epitomized it. Trump's ability to stoke open animosity and resentment has resonated deeply with his devout followers. For many devout Christians, loyalty to Trump has transcended mere political affiliation, evolving into a blind allegiance akin to religious devotion. Trump's rhetoric, marked by hatred, resentment, and vilification, has been embraced by some followers as expressions of their Christian identity. This troubling trend underscores the dominance of political ideology over religious principles among certain segments of the Christian community. Trump's legacy in the realm of Christian nationalism is indelible. He holds a revered place in the hearts of militant conservatives, regardless of whether they attend church services or consume conservative media at home. Trump's disruptive influence has blurred the lines between civic and religious norms, emboldening some followers to resort to violence in defense of their perceived values. In the growing number of non-denominational faith communities where spiritual warfare against demonic forces takes precedence over traditional narratives of sin and redemption, the risk of equating Jesus with Trump is heightened. If Trump secures another term in the White House with the support of conservative Christians, it will necessitate a critical examination of what professed believers in Jesus truly stand for. A warning about Trump in 2024. As Donald Trump emerges as the front-runner for the Republican presidential nomination in this election year, Americans must reflect on the implications of a potential second Trump term for the nation and the world. Given Trump's track record and character flaws, they bear a weighty responsibility in this election. Throughout his career as a real estate developer, television personality, and president, Trump has consistently displayed traits that render him unsuitable for high office. He has wielded power recklessly, prioritized his ego over the country's interests, and demonstrated a disdain for the rule of law and democratic norms. In his bid to regain power, Trump continues to exhibit his worst impulses, fanning the flames of violence, exploiting fear and hatred for political gain, and undermining democratic institutions. He poses a direct challenge to the fundamental principles of liberty and the rule of law upon which the United States was founded. The upcoming election presents a stark choice between preserving America's democratic values and electing a leader who disregards the law and constitutional safeguards. Trump's candidacy represents a departure from the traditional political dichotomy, forcing voters to decide the nation's future course. In 2016, various segments of the electorate were willing to overlook Trump's bombastic rhetoric, hoping he would fulfill their desires with minimal harm to the nation. However, today, there is no ambiguity about his intentions, the people he will surround himself with, or the goals he will pursue if re-elected. The consequences of another Trump term are clear, particularly for America's allies and the world at large. During his 4 years in office, Trump's presidency inflicted lasting harm on the institution of the presidency and the nation as a whole. He exacerbated existing divisions within American society, leaving the country deeply polarized. His degradation of public discourse normalized lies, insults, and personal attacks at the highest levels of government. Moreover, his disregard for the rule of law raised concerns about the stability of American democracy, while his lack of moral leadership undermined national ideals, surviving Trump's presidency. Despite the challenges posed by Trump's presidency, the nation endured for several reasons. The absence of a coherent agenda from Trump, the disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, and the efforts of some administration appointees to mitigate his most extreme actions contributed to the country's resilience. Moreover, the strength of individuals and institutions within his administration and the Republican Party played a crucial role in upholding democratic norms and resisting attempts to subvert the peaceful transfer of power. In the aftermath of Trump's presidency, it is enlightening to consider the perspectives of individuals who served in his administration. Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, characterized him as deeply flawed, reflecting the sentiments of many officials who witnessed his leadership firsthand. These assessments underscore the importance of vigilance and accountability in safeguarding democratic principles and institutions against future threats. Even individuals who served in high-ranking positions within the Trump administration, such as Attorney General Bill Barr and former Defense Secretary Mark Esper, have criticized Trump's actions. They highlighted how Trump consistently prioritized his own interests over those of the country, demonstrating a disregard for the sacrifices made by American soldiers. Vice President Mike Pence, known for his loyalty to Trump, also had a moment of clarity. He recognized the danger Trump posed to democracy, particularly on January 6, 2021, when he pressured him to choose between loyalty to him and the Constitution. Pence's refusal to overturn the election results angered Trump and his supporters, leading to the infamous Capitol insurrection. Should Trump be re-elected, he has shown no inclination toward moderation. Instead, he surrounds himself with individuals who share his desire to solidify the MAGA, Make America Great Again, doctrine. Reports indicate that Trump and his ideological allies have been actively planning for a second term under Project 2025. This initiative involves a coalition of right-wing organizations preparing to dismantle key structures of the American government and weaken democratic institutions. They seek to consolidate power and undermine the checks and balances that limit Trump's authority. So what do you think of the terrifying warning by Melania Trump for every Christian? Comment below and subscribe for more.